Let's pretend that never happened. Manchester City have won that game, but that was an absolute shambles. That was chaotic is the best way I can describe that. But we still won. We still found a way to win that game despite trying our very, very best to give Bournemouth a chance of trying to save themselves from relegation. Yep, we won 2-1, but it was genuinely a very poor, very shambolic game of football. Yet that score could have been absolutely anything. I said call then. That score could have been absolutely anything. It could have been 4-1 Man City. It could have been 3-2 Bournemouth. There were so many weird decisions being made throughout that game that who knows how it could have been. But all I'm happy about is that we got the win. We got the win in the end. And we answered a few questions that I didn't expect us to see us answer, I guess. But at least we've learned a few lessons ahead of some big games coming up pretty soon. And the team was an interesting one, as we know. Ederson was in goal. We had Kyle Walker at right back alongside Stones and Otamendi. They both got a chance to play themselves into some big games that we've got coming up in the cup competitions. We'll get onto that in a bit, with Mendy alongside him. Then we went for a very strange midfield with David Silva, Gundogan and Fernandinho holding midfield, with Foden out on the left, Bernardo on the right and Gabriel Jesus through the middle. And it wasn't really a great game, if we're being honest. City did open the scoring pretty early with a fantastic, an absolute majestic David Silva free kick. Mate, where have those free kicks been for years? He's second since the lockdown, and he was absolutely beautiful, and he was good for us, but we'll get onto him in a bit. We had a nice long range effort for Fernandinho as well. Ederson made a great save. It could have easily been 1-1, but then we did get the second goal that we probably didn't deserve, if I'm being honest. It was a stunning individual effort as well from Gabriel Jesus. He cut inside defender Megan cut inside another, then fired it across the keeper to make it 2-0. A wonderful individual goal, drifting in from the left nonetheless. At this point, City had started to slightly regain some possession. Foden was drifting through the middle a little bit to get more involved, and City looked a little bit more assured. A clear penalty was then not given. I don't know how this wasn't given, honestly. Farcical. Once again, I can't remember who the defender was, but completely took up Gabriel Jesus' foot, got nowhere near the ball, and somehow, even like Carragher was saying it wasn't a pen. I don't even know what they were on about. It was an obvious pen, and it wasn't given. Absolute weird. Absolute weird. Second half was equally as chaotic, more defensively confusing. There was a disallowed VAR goal for Josh King. I thought it was maybe just on, but then apparently if you keep zooming in and get down to the centimetre, maybe it was offside. I mean, for me, it's just, I don't like this level of microscopic detail. I mean, if you look far off and it looks kind of on, that'll do for me with the lines. But whatever, it wasn't counted, and maybe that was kind of like they're levelling it out, I guess, if you did think it was on for the non-penalty. And City kind of got a bit weird, really. We had a penalty once again called. I thought this was a penalty. I thought Gabriel Jesus was about to take a shot when the defender, I think the running theme of this is I can't remember who made the challenges, when the defender basically went underneath Gabriel Jesus' foot, like brushed the ball, like here's a mat, he's like brushed it like that, and the ball didn't even move. For some reason, like if you touch the ball, this is a Zelda cup of tea mat, by the way, a Zelda placemat. If you touch the ball and it doesn't move, the ball should have to move like that or whatever, something like that. But he basically went through Gabriel Jesus, got his foot underneath his planting foot when he was about to kind of open his body up, touched the ball went, didn't even budge. And apparently that's enough to warrant taking the man down. For me, Gabriel Jesus was clearly opening his body up to shoot with his right foot. But his foot apparently was allowed to be there. It was overcalled. I don't really subscribe to this idea that if you touch the ball, that also means it can't therefore be a foul. If you go through, basically, if a challenge is 99% obstructing a shot and 1% slightly grazing the ball, tickling the ball's little face, and the ball doesn't even move, that's not a clean challenge for me. I don't think he got anywhere near enough sufficient contact to warrant basically obstructing Gabriel Jesus. But whatever, it was overcalled and it didn't happen. The game continued to be scrappy. Bournemouth continued to pile on some pressure. The changes weren't really helping. We brought in Garcia at right back. Zinchenko came on as well. Rodri came on in midfield. Didn't really change anything. Stones and Otamendi continued to be a little bit confusing. And Ederson continued to bail us out until the 88th minute when Wilson outpaced Stones far too easily. Otamendi was nowhere near Brooks. Brooks had a tap into the back post, which could cost Ederson the Golden Glove, which is a shame. They nearly equalised a minute later. Garcia, a piss poor clearance with attempted back heel clearance, don't know what he was doing, and Wilson blazed wise. And then they continued to press. Ederson, confident and calm. City, absolutely useless. It wasn't a great performance at all. Individually, Ederson was fantastic. He kept us in it, if I'm being honest. A great pass as well in the first half. Couple of good saves. Really, really good. Mendy was just, he was a 6 out of 10. Not bad, not great. Walker was fine as well. Stones and Otamendi, I'm sorry, they're just not it. Otamendi is just so bad these days. He's so rash. He was a 4 out of 10 for me. Really, really poor. Stones alongside him, just average. Like, pain. Do you know when something's so average that it almost offends you? Like, not terrible, not good, but just constantly. Like, that's what John Stones is. He's just a real... he's just kind of a little damp squib of a player. He's so limp and so lifeless, and I want something a bit more from him. And alongside Otamendi, well, it's just a recipe for disaster. I'm not saying he was as bad as Otamendi, but it's just... I want more. I want some life. I want some power from him. I want some control. He shouldn't have to play alongside Laporte just to look half decent. I need some leadership from him. And I'm sorry, I just don't trust either of them at all in a big moment. I just don't trust him. He can be okay, but they're both just so underwhelming at times. Garcia came on at right back and he was pretty poor. I like the lad, but he was still pretty poor. He's obviously not a right back in any sense of the imagination. But I think it's obvious now that he's ahead of Stones and Otamendi, and he will be alongside Laporte in some big games because he's earned that. And even there was still 1 or 2 moments of composure from him at very least, and a nice cynical challenge too. Midfield, Fernandinho was okay. He was alright there. He wasn't great by any stretch, I don't think. He was alright though. He's not bad. David Silva was probably our best attacker, even being honest. Got 1 assist, scored a beautiful goal. Probably should have set up a penalty, but it was overruled. Some lovely touches. He hasn't got the energy anymore, of course, but he was decent. Gundogan just wasn't really there, just kind of non-existent. Foden looked a little bit lost out on the left, if I'm being honest. He looked a little bit better when he started to drift inside the midfield towards the end of the first half. He had one delightful little touch actually, where he took down a long-range kind of Garcia cross and jinxed it Bergkamp style and had forced a good save from the keeper, but he was just on the periphery. Bernardo continues to underwhelm. I really like Bernardo, but the guy is just not the same these days. And then Gabriel Jesus, lovely goal. Probably should have had 2 penalties given on him, in my humble opinion. First one of the video, humble opinions. But I think he was decent. Really nice goal with high quality to it. Of the other subs, De Bruyne didn't get on. Sterling was okay when he came on. Mahrez, not really a score to mark, if I'm being honest. Overall, people could turn around and go, that game didn't mean anything. Why are we trying to find meaning? But I'm sorry, but this was a chance for some players to really make an impression, I guess. We've got some big games coming up. We've got a semi-final at the weekend. We've got a game against Real Madrid already in the calendar as well. We've got basically massive games, and this is their audition. I'm sorry they may not feel that they're going to... I know it's hard always to be at your best, but you have to be better than that against a team, with all due respect to Bournemouth, are one of the worst teams in the league. Bournemouth were decent tonight. I will give them the credit for that, but we have to be more controlled. We have to show our quality, and some of these players really did themselves no favour. I think we've really answered a few questions. Even though it's a dead rubber, it wasn't a dead rubber in terms of the meaning for these players. Some of those really should have been busting the gut to get into the team against Arsenal the weekend or against Real Madrid, but they haven't shown anything. And so many players on the bench tonight will know that they can walk back into the team when the big games come around, because why wouldn't they? Some of those players just have to show more. And I'm not saying it's the end of the world, of course. It isn't the end of the world. But I don't know, I was hoping for a little bit more from this team. There was loads of changes, and I understand that accepts rhythm. But after the Cash result the other day, the energy around the club at the moment, I wanted to see players really make an effort and really show what this result potentially mean for him. As it is, we got a nothing performance. Now, I know at this stage of the season, you'd get nothing, but I really do feel if some academy lads had been there, maybe you would have got some more from them, because none of those players really... Oh, a few exceptions aside, none of those players did themselves a favour, really. It's just frustrating, and Guardiola won't be happy either. I'm not throwing my toys out the pram, I'm just kind of trying to call it as it is. I'm not overly concerned, I'm not worried or anything like that, but you just get a bit frustrated from certain individuals because you want to see more. You want to see them more involved. You want to see these players being a little bit more assertive at times, because they've done themselves no favours. Overall, by the way, VAR once again an absolute load of shite. I wish there was some consistency with the rules. You can turn around and say, oh, VAR isn't the problem. Maybe it isn't, but I'm just so bored of what it brings to the game, this microscopic, annoying detail, and still, even then, the decisions are incorrect. It just drives me mad. But I don't think Guardiola will be happy today. I wasn't happy with Guardiola, even being honest. I still do want to see some academy lads get involved, because why not? I know we've got big games coming up, but at this moment, this is a perfect chance to have a couple of academy players that haven't been involved yet that are on the bench. Doyle has earned a chance there, but I would have had someone like Braff alongside, or Palmer at the lap and got him on. This is my personal opinion. I feel like it's a good chance to see what they could have been made of, and I'm certain we would have got more from some of them than we got from some of the senior players today. Some big questions about some of these players that they had a chance to answer today, and they haven't done it. Now, we won the game, of course, but we made it so much more difficult than it needs to be. Some of these players will be fine and they will improve, but that wasn't a good game of football, and we can address that, especially given the context of the game, given the week we've just had, given the games we've got coming up. Some of those players, they should be pretty embarrassed, and I mean that. I don't mean that too harshly. I don't think they're bad players as such, but they have to be better. We have to be more professional. Either way, we won. It's not the end of the world once again, and I'm not disappointed. I'm not upset or anything like that. I think Guardiola will be saying the same. We have to demand more for ourselves, given everything going on at the moment. Anyway, guys, let me know what you thought of that game. It isn't a disaster. It's just some lessons learned, or maybe some questions or some thoughts that we had confirmed a little bit more. Stones and Otamendi, do not put them anywhere near a team together as a defensive partnership. Please, Guardiola. I don't want to ever see that again. And it's possible we never have to see that again. I'd rather Fernandinho, Garcia, Laporte there. Please, please. Guys, let me know in the comments what you thought of that. Like, comment, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you tomorrow for another video.